Hey, this is indeed Walt from the Comic Book Men, and you're listening to the iWalter Show.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, this is Walter from iWalter. Doing a show today. I was going to do one actually last night. I ended up not doing one. I was just so tired. I was watching some shows. There's one I was going to mention, and because I thought it was pretty cool. It wasn't the greatest show, but it was called Teachers on TV Land, and I ended up watching the rest of it. Some of it was kind of really dumb. It wasn't anything spectacular, but then I ended up watching it. It was like it got funnier. There was one particular episode, like these women, they're kind of either semi-attractive or just plain fugly, but they are really good actresses. They play like these, I'm not going to even say first, they're like equivalent to like a step above. I don't know what that would be considered, like what, first grade or kindergarten teachers. But these are supposed to be teachers, like they're almost like daycare, but it's basically, again, it's probably like first or kindergarten grade teachers, and they're all have their own really bad issues. They're all of them have their own type of hang-ups and issues. Like there's one, she's like a gothic woman, but she's a school teacher, and they actually do let it go through on the shows where she says fuck all the time, and I'm like laughing my ass off. And there's some other inappropriate things, and there's another teacher, she's actually not bad looking, but she's got a weird nose, and she tries to she's like a wannabe model, an older woman, but not old. I'm going to guess probably in her mid-30s, but they, she's always like dressing really sexy and stuff like that. And in one episode, she's actually having sex constantly, and she said it was the best sex she ever had because she basically has sex with anybody who has sex with her, male-wise. She has sex with the janitor, and she says, and then the guy breaks up with him, the janitor, and she gets like hysterical, like she gets all upset. But the best one, actually, I never laughed so hard in my life, was this one particular episode where the woman who is gothic, like the first episode, she looked really pretty cool because she had like black hair and she's all gothed out, but then all the rest of the episodes for the season, she has red hair. I guess that's her natural hair color. And even that was really funny. So again, I'm like, somebody's calling me now, my one friend Todd, so I don't think it'll pick it up. Because I'm recording on a different system. But yeah, she, these little kids, like in kindergarten, all of them have cell phones. I mean, these kids do. They have cell phones. So they were passing around like porn pictures and stuff. And the teachers always had to flag these little kids for, the kids got a new porn thing they're passing around amongst themselves. We got to take their phones away and make sure they get that off because you're not allowed to do that. So the last time they did it on this one episode, it looked like they actually had a porn video they were passing amongst each other, these little kids that are like, again, like kindergarten age, and these different classrooms, and they have to pull the phones, and it looks like the one school teacher, the one who's like gothed out all the time. And it ends up like this particular teacher, she was trying to get parents to do extra, curricular activities, help out, get involved in school projects, helping out the school, like volunteer. and none of the teachers would bother to do it. Like the one parent that this particular woman asked, he says, "Hey, can you volunteer?" And she's always like really angry, so she's like always dropping, she's saying fuck and inappropriate things, which is funny enough. And she's kind of like not that great looking, but she's very funny. And nobody wanted to volunteer, but this one mother, she asked, hey, when she was picking up her kid, this one mother's picking up her kid, she actually says, hey, can you volunteer in the kitchen or something and help out around the school? And the woman pulls a candy bar out of her pocket and said, oh, I got to take this right now. And she said, it's a candy bar. You can't answer a candy bar. I mean, it was just really funny. So all of a sudden, though, in this particular episode, it was like the second to the last, she gets all these volunteers and are all the dads of all these parents, because they find out that what they thought was this woman in this porn video, it's supposed to be like one of those, I can't remember what you call it, parodies of different things. It was supposed to be like a Harry Potter one, and she's supposed to be, basically screwing the wizard, the main wizard in those movies of Harry Potter, one of those porn parodies, with like a wand, one of his magic wands. So every father volunteers all of a sudden. They want to help out at the school. And one actually dresses up in bondage, and they said, if I don't do the job right, make sure you punish me really bad. And like they're all like desperate. And in the mix, there was a lesbian mom too, and she actually volunteers as well. Like the stereotypical lesbian mom, the short hair, kind of chunky looking and everything like that. And I'm like laughing really, really hard. I mean, there was a couple other ones that were pretty unique and pretty funny. I mean, most of the comedy nowadays is not excellent, but that was actually pretty good. It cost me like $19 for the season pass. And I think it was only like 10 episodes, but I watched all 10 of them. They're only like 22 minutes, 25 minutes a pop. But I watched them within like a couple hours, because they were actually kept my attention. And they are really funny, so I hope they do bring that show back. Because most of the shows that are halfway promising as far as comedy goes, they never bring them back. They only do it for one season. Now, the ones that are really bad, they generally seem to linger on, like, you can't get rid of them. That one was really funny, that show. There's one woman that's a school teacher. She's like a stereotypical Bible beater. Literally, she's like into religion. She's a virgin and all this other stuff. She's funny, too. The one episode, the very last one, they have, last day of school, the teachers get together and they open a bottle of liquor, and that Catholic Christian mom, she's not even a mother, the Christian teacher, has zero tolerance for alcohol, and they said, well, this probably wouldn't hurt her, so they gave her a Dixie cup filled with liquor, and she got, like, smashed off of it. Like, I forget what they called it, but she got smashed, and she was running around in school taking her top off, running around in school. She had, like, granny panties on. That was kind of disgusting, though. And then towards the end, she's, like, running around, like, absolutely nude around school. She got smashed on one Dixie cup of alcohol that wasn't even all the way filled up. It was, like, a Dixie cup filled 1/4 of the way, and she got smashed on it. So there was like some funny parts in that show. They're really, really funny, hilarious. So by the way, I got my background noise on right now, or my background. I have the sound off on my TV set, and it's at Me TV. It's called Super Sci-Fi Saturdays. They have all the science fiction shows from the 60s, 70s, probably even the 50s. But they had Superman with George Reeves. Now they have Batman and Robin from the 60s. They have Wonder Woman on later this afternoon. And tonight they have what's called Senguli. I think it's Senguli. He's like, if you were from Philadelphia back in the day, you would know who this is, a guy named Dr. Shock. Actually, I think he was not even from Philly. He was from around this area, the neck of the woods. But it was broadcasted on Philly years ago, where he used to show these bad horror movies. Another one was Stella. She was actually from Manayunk. She was really cool, too. She was pretty hot, too. But they would show all these bad horror movies. Gilbert Gottfried was another one that would show bad horror movies, and the Texan guy, too. But Senguli's been on probably he's the longest survivor. He was on since I think the 70s, and he kind of disappeared for a while. And MeTV actually picked him up, and he's been on very strong for I think the past 5 years since he came back into doing like old classic horror movies, B horror movies. I'll get into tonight. It's going to be Godzilla, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. But anyway, teachers I'd probably recommend. There was another one called Idiot Sitter, which was really, really, really bad. And for some reason, it just kept my attention. It actually did get more promising towards the end where I actually did enjoy it. I was missed when it was done. That's why I picked up this other one. There was one I was telling a friend and coworker at work, the woman who's helped me right now, who I think she said if you listen in, she wants to kind of get set up to do her own podcast. So I'm trying to coach her along. I hope she does do it. At least kind of encourages me that I'm influencing somebody else to do what I try to do, which, it's not easy doing podcasting. I know when I first set up to do my podcast, honestly, there was nobody. I actually went over to this place called Micro Center in St. David's. I asked them, and I said, hey, can you give me some tidbits on what I need to buy to set up a podcast? And they looked online for me, the techs at the store, and they printed up some paperwork, and I kind of looked at the price, and they told me at first, suggested use a Yeti microphone, and you really don't need much else. And I kind of did a lot of research myself until I found, which I mentioned to this friend, coworker at work that's been helping me right now. There was one link on YouTube that was excellent. I mentioned that before in the past. And they actually this one guy gave you like the best suggestions on what to buy, what software to use, and everything. And I'm actually using exactly what this guy had suggested. I can't remember the name. Maybe I'll take a peek. I actually put it on my Facebook page, and somebody took it down. And I don't know who, so I had to repost it again because I wanted to show the person at work, friend, coworker, and so I was able, and I wrote it down, and I can't remember the name of it, but this person is like excellent on here. Tell you what, let me see what it's called. Scarlett 2-in-2 USB amp box. The mics, I can't remember the name. I think it's Audicia or something like that, which comes with everything else. Audacity is what you need for the software because it works perfect with this setup. And basically just a PC or a laptop. The only thing that's going to be that's costly alone. Oh, and mic covers, foam covers, windscreens basically. You put them, they're like little cups that you put on top, foam cups you put on top of your mics. The main thing that gets the most costly, though, believe it or not, is you have to, if you don't want to do it, you could do your own, I think it's called like a proxy or something. A way that you have a way of uploading your information online for people to listen to, which I don't know how to do that. I don't even know how that would work. So I just basically went with a service. I mentioned to her that there was actually one woman, woman / coworker. I was going to joke actually and say, because she married woman, she's really nice. She's a really good worker. She said her birthday was the other day, and a guy at work brought in some cupcakes for her birthday, and it was really nice of him to do that. He was really cool to do that. He kind of shocked everybody that he, went out of his way to give her something for her birthday. At least acknowledging, hey, it's your birthday, happy birthday. Here's some cupcakes and everything, and it was great. They tasted really nice. That was very nice of he's another one who's been really a big help to me too. This other guy, and the woman I work with, sure hear this, sure laugh. She said she told her husband that, oh, yeah, somebody at work got me some cupcakes. And he said, yeah, your boyfriend got them for you. So I was joking with her last night, all night. I was busting her. I said, yeah, hey, just tell her, tell him I'm your boyfriend. So, yeah, so my girlfriend helps me at work. Just kidding. But, yeah, she's been a big help, both these two people. She was a really big help last night because they've been pushing my buttons at work since I got back, and she noticed it too. I call her a friend because she has been nothing more, absolutely been like the best friend I've had since I came back, and the best worker. And, her and this other guy have kept my sanity from me just like literally getting on the roof and jumping off the top of the roof. So they've been, the people at my job, I heard from another friend, neither one that I just mentioned. He actually admitted, he said, yeah, there are certain people worked it. I'll put it in my terms, but he said, yeah, they admitted to, they like to push my buttons, so to speak. That's an old terminology, old school terminology, pushing buttons. But they actually do that on spite to try to get me all worked up. They play games. Like, for instance, there was a room that they thought I was going to be cleaning yesterday. She ended up having to do it, but I kind of caught wind of it. She said if I would have seen it, I would have brought it to the attention of the supervisors for what they were trying to do. But they actually literally, we have these large trash cans. They must be like 100-gallon trash cans. They're huge. They go up to my chest. They're really big. They're like, they're not that big, but they're up there. They're actually wider, I would say. They're plastic, though. But, there's recycle bins you get now. Your garbage, your trash companies, they all do that now. They give you those special trash cans that you're supposed to put your garbage in. They're they're really big. So if you weigh those down that are overflowing, you could literally hurt yourself. So somebody, just to be a smart ass yesterday, they took one of these trash cans. These are in sterilized areas, and they filled it to the tippy top. She said she was here for almost for a couple months, but they had people working in these rooms for the last 6 months. She said they never did that to her or the other guy that's been helping me out. But they thought that, okay, well, now it's just going to be Walter again. Now we can really just basically place the thumb screws on Walter and just make his life a living hell. So they literally must have put at least about 100 pounds of garbage in one trash can, and I had to divide it up. And it was just, the whole intention was, you can say it was accidental. They didn't just do it to direct it towards me. But if they haven't done that in 6 months, and they start it when the first time certain people see me after being out for 6 months, that's a little bit obvious that was spiteful. And again, I had a friend at work, another friend that who had said, yeah, they actually admitted that they do stuff to me on spite, out of deliberate spite. So, and then the people I work with, the two people that have been helping me, and definitely consider friends. The woman I worked with last night, she said, yeah, she noticed from the moment I walked through the door, I came back, that they basically don't bother other people like they do to me. They really take advantage of me to the max. So that might come to an end. I don't know, because I don't know what's going to be happening, because there's only like 2 weeks left this month. So, I think it's 2 weeks left. It's the 16th, so I don't know. Hey, by the way, today's a beautiful day, and I'm in the house right now, but let's see what the temperature is now. It said 65, so I'm going to refresh that. Now it's 63, so it dropped 2 degrees already. So it's, temperatures are beautiful. It's like, 65, 63 degrees. It means it was like close to 70 today. Not real hot, not real humid. It was beautiful out. But I ended up sleeping in until 3:30. I was going to do a show last night to talk about teachers and Idiot Sitter, because I watched both of those the past week. I bought this movie, which I refused to watch. I'm trying to get a guy I consider a friend, another guy. He bought my Microsoft Surface off me because I never used it. He gave me $200, and it was like, he gave me in cash. I was like, dude, this is so great because I'm going to pay off the remainder of what I owe on my TV set, which I did. My last payment was sent in. Won't clear until Monday, but that $200 was more than enough to pay off. My $1,200 TV set, which I had until 2018 to pay off, is now completely paid off as far as I know right now. I don't want to say that's etched in stone because I had a couple charges on this one credit card was for Best Buy, which I thought were fraudulent. So I ended up getting those dropped. That was like $300 worth of charges. They could easily turn around and say, listen, we're going to put those charges back on, which means I'm going to owe another $300. But at this point, the $200 is all I owed left on my TV set. I bought some like different things like movies and stuff. Can't remember. Pre-ordered Deadpool and haven't ordered yet, but Batman versus Superman. But that stuff, they usually charge you right away. That was all paid off too. So it was like, hey, this is excellent. I don't owe anything on my credit card. And I consolidated all my other debts. So my other credit cards, PayPal and I have an Amazon credit card. They're all like zero balance at this point, minus what I might have added. I buy my toiletry stuff online. Certain things I can't buy in stores, like special toothpaste that are actually designed to keep your teeth looking white. Like it's professional grade. It's very expensive in the stores. Cheaper online. You can't find in stores anyway. So anyway, I hate to say this, I'm looking at a Bernie Sanders commercial right now. It's amazing. I heard, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh recap from yesterday, and it's kind of actually funny because they're saying, alrighty, hopefully this works. It actually just stopped recording for no reason at all. That's why you got to keep your eyes open. I was in the middle of recording, and it stopped recording. Anyway, just to continue on where I left off, they're saying that Hillary Clinton is mopping up, this is what the meeting the press is saying, is mopping up Bernie Sanders. Like he is not even in the same realm as Hillary Clinton. And Rush Limbaugh, who is, conservative, he said that's not true. It's actually the opposite. But the media is basically trying to convince people that, no, Hillary Clinton's like on top. She's actually, she's the one who's going to win the primaries for becoming the potential Democratic elect for president. And it's not true. Actually, Bernie Sanders is the one who's on the winning side for the Democrats right now. Now, it's still up. It's a toss coin for the Republican side, the conservative side. I personally was going to vote for Trump. I personally, though, people won't like me saying this, but I actually really like, because I heard a little bit of what they try to sabotage. And believe it or not, it's the Republicans doing this. They were trying to sabotage in New York, I guess. At somewhere he was speaking was actually Ted Cruz. Now, people are going to say, well, Ted Cruz is a total asshole, that Donald Trump's a total asshole. But his point was I know I'm jumping around, by the way. With what Rush was saying is they're doing this, our own, because I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican. Our own party is sabotaging both Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. And he says he would like to see this, if this is going to happen also with Bernie Sanders, and which it kind of is, honestly, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, where within the own party, your own party, if you're a Democrat or Republican, your own party is sabotaging who could potentially get placed in who's going to run for that party's, what do you call it? Who's going to be the one running for that party, being potential running against the other person for president. I'm not doing a very good job explaining myself. So, that's really sad, but what they did was in New York, because they were pissed at, I think, what I gathered that Ted Cruz had said about Donald Trump, and they said it wasn't Donald Trump that had done so. It was actually people that support Donald Trump had sabotaged Ted Cruz on his speech. They literally turned off his mic during his speech, and they said, well, it wasn't that. And what they did was they turned off the main mic that he was speaking on. They turned that off, and they turned on like mics, I guess, around different tables where people can ask questions. Like they turned those on, and they turned his mic off. So all you heard was his background noise. And they said it was an obvious setup, but they also waited until Ted Cruz came on, because it was a dinner banquet as well, to start serving people like their food at the same time, so not only did the mics go on around these tables where people could ask questions, and you got a lot of background noise, but you also heard people's forks and knives, hitting their plates. And you couldn't hear Ted Cruz at all, and he was saying that what they came off saying, now this was the media and the press, and that's even conservative media and press doing this. They were sabotaging Ted Cruz. They were saying, well, you know what, people just were so disinterested in what Ted Cruz had to say, you couldn't hear him, and it wasn't the truth. They sabotaged the mics to make him look bad. And they did this also because they were really pissed on what they said, the Trump supporters. What they had mentioned, or what he had mentioned, Ted Cruz had mentioned about Donald Trump. Now, this had nothing to do with Donald Trump at all. He didn't even was aware of this, and I believe that. It's just they were trying to point out what was going on, though. So anyway, it's kind of like both sides are doing the same thing. Almost, they're sabotaging who they don't want and who they want. It's supposed to be freedom of choice on who you want to vote for, but yet that's not really the case. They're dictating to people. It's almost like those countries, I can't remember, is that Russia or something? Oh yeah, we have a democracy, but we're going to tell you who you're going to vote for and who you're going to elect. You only have one person you can, I can't remember what that is. Maybe it's Cuba or something like that. I'm just guessing. Fidel Castro, okay, yeah, we have a democracy, but you only have one person to vote for, or you're going to vote for that person or else. So that's what they're doing in the U.S. now. I mean, that's pretty scary. Now, despite what people think, this Tuesday coming, we're going to have to vote, by the way. And honestly, I think I really would like to vote for Ted Cruz, but I just think it's going to be a tossed vote. I can do it for peace of mind because deep down inside, I'd rather have Ted Cruz. I heard him on what they did not sabotage of his speech, and what I heard, I liked. And I have a feeling there's a friend of mine at work. Actually, yeah, there's one friend at work. I know, I can sense it out. I can feel him out. I think he's going to vote for Ted Cruz because the way he was talking to me the other day. He won't tell me who he's voting for, but I can see he's leaning towards Ted Cruz. So I would, but I honestly just think it's kind of almost I'd rather put my vote somewhere while there will be more of a stronghold on the person that I would probably want to see. At least get somebody who is running on the Conservative Party. Now, don't get me wrong. If Donald Trump would get the delegates that he needs to get to become president or run for president, they have already mentioned they're going to sabotage that no matter what, the Republicans, by making sure that even though that may be the case, let's say Trump gets, I think it's 132 delegates, whatever you call it, to become president, they're still not going to let him have it. If he's short, he has 211, I forget what the number was. I can't remember. It's not even that important. This is it's not a show about politics. This is a show about me talking whatever I want to talk about. That they're still not going to let him have. If he's shy 10 delegates or whatever, they're not going to give it to him. They're going to say, well, that's too bad. He's not going to get it. And the same thing for Ted Cruz. So, but let's be honest, Donald Trump's a lot closer to making what he needs to get to run as president. Now, people are trying to discourage people for even thinking about Donald Trump by saying, well, they still push that he's going to lose interest on what he's talking about. He's going to get so far, he's going to get all the way, and he's going to back out or something like that. But that's not even the case. I know that's not true. I don't think he will. Deep down inside, I think he's really pissed off the way things are going right now. Hey, he backed down for Mitt Romney when he thought Mitt Romney was going to win because he thought Mitt Romney would have done a better job. But obviously, then look what happened. Mitt Romney turned around just lately and backstabbed him. I was going to vote for Mitt Romney. I think at the time he would have been definitely an excellent choice, but he didn't get it. We got President Obama for 4 more years. So anyway, honestly, I think I'll probably still vote for Donald Trump on Tuesday. I'd prefer to vote for Ted Cruz, but it just seems like I'll be not helping, just make it even worse. We're just one state, but this is probably a pretty powerful state too. So it would be interesting to see. But anyway, like I said, obviously I'm getting my voice back a little bit, but I have to thank, because the woman I work with, she's seen, going back to that real quick, that I work with, she's seen all the work they piled on me. I mean, it was a week's worth of work in 8 hours to do on Friday afternoon when I was at work. And it was like that every day. And I even told her, the woman I work with, I said, if it wasn't for you, they would have had me doing, like, there's certain stuff that I haven't even touched yet. I haven't had time. They had me bringing in cases, skids of stuff. They wanted me to clean. They had me doing, like, these barrels of waste disposal. I would say in the last 2 days I joked with her. I said, well, I had 45 barrels of stuff, waste material to take care of. And it was actually pretty accurate, because the one day I had to dump some pump or some tank that was filled with waste material. I had to drain it out, and it takes forever because you have to use a pump. And now the pump that we had broke. It was like almost 20-some years old or 30 years old, so it broke. And they ordered a new one. And the guy told me, he said, the new pump's going to cost around $16,000. He said, it's not cheap. And then they had installed. But the pump they put in temporarily was like a pump you would use for one of those outdoor fish ponds. I mean, that's how big it is. I'm not kidding. For a tank that holds, I think, about 500 gallons. So, and basically there was a tube coming from this pump that, pushes air through the tank to push out the waste material. Well, that was the size of like a small plastic tube, like a small thin tube. So you're basically pumping, I would say, about a 500 or 750 gallon tank, big, huge tank, trying to siphon out the chemical waste with a paper straw. I mean, that's how thick it was. So it had taken me the one day 8 hours, and then they put more in there, and it took me almost another 2 hours to finish out what they put in there the next day. So that was what? That's 10 hours worth of work there. And then they had all this stuff they needed taken out from in these suites, which was approximately, I think, another 10 or 12 drums of waste material. And it has to be, they're put on these things, are called dollies. They're going to be picked up with some type of belt, crane belt, and you got to transfer them into a skid, and you got to mark everything up. Some of the stuff can't be placed from the drums they come in. They're not the proper drums to dispose of stuff, so you got to transfer that stuff and siphon that stuff out of the drum it's into another one. You got to mark everything up. You got to take certain things out of the system, which I don't know how to do, so somebody helped me with that on certain things. There was things that had to come in, but that alone is a full-time job. But between that, I was supposed to restock things, which is actually the person who works a position, a job that's Sunday through Thursday. Because I remember from years ago, when I first started in this particular building, this person who had started to train me in this building I work, she said, this woman, she was a different woman from whom I'm talking about. She told me, yeah, I work Sunday through Thursday simply because you get paid time and a half for working Sundays, because that's an off shift thing. So she said, yeah, that day is catch-up day. Whatever you guys can't get done during the week, I'll finish out what I can do, because Sunday there's nobody on plant site except about a handful of people in any given building. And she says that's the day that I'll restock supplies that we need. There's things like these people use. They're called gaskets. They're like washer-looking things. Rubber gloves, because you have to wear rubber gloves. She'll replace those. She'll bring in chemicals we need. She'll bring in clean supplies, mop heads. She'll do all that on Sunday. Well, somebody told the woman who's training me right now, the new woman, the one who I consider a friend and coworker, which I'm not going to have for much longer, which I'm really upset about. She told me she was told that, oh, that's Walter's job to do all that. It's like, okay, wait a minute. You have 5 people right now, and not including the other people who, people helping out. You're running overtime 7 days a week. I'm only there 5 days a week, and I'm expected to do all this stuff. And the list is one-sided. Okay, well, Walter has to do bringing in skids, cleaning in stuff that has to come into these sterilized areas. He has to fill all the supplies. He has to empty waste material. He has to take out waste material. He has to take in material that other people use. He has to do, they're called safety washes, other stuff. He has to do all that. Their list is basically next to zero, very little. So, if you had one of those theoretical scales, the scale will definitely be tipped where the heavier side of work is placed on me while the other ones don't have to do next to nil. So, and the woman I work with definitely noticed that. She's noticed that from day one when I came back. And it's just, again, it's called, like we used to call this back in the day and when I was a kid and I was in these different places, these mental state hospitals, as I said before, they used to call that pushing your buttons. Like, basically just, pissing people off and then acting like you don't know what's going on kind of deal. So it does get really thin. So she even said you need to bring this to people's attention now before I leave, or you're going to have to deal with this somehow, because once I'm gone and the other guy that's helped me is gone, this woman's gone and this guy's gone, they won't be able to help me out. And it's like, yeah, you're right. But basically when I do try to go through the right channels to talk to people, nobody wants to hear it. Like when I came back to this place where I work, I actually sat down in our HR and I had mentioned to them, I said, listen, the stuff you told me before, you are going to keep your promise now of write me up a list of things I need to do. If I need help, you're going to give it to me. Yes, we will. We will make you a list. We will help you out. We will train you on things. I said, are you going to train me? Because I said, I don't know how to do certain procedures. Oh, yeah, we're going to train you. Well, guess where that one? The second I walked through and I signed off on paperwork, like I literally had to sign paperwork to the agreement they had agreed upon, that all went out the window. They didn't support anything they said. They never trained me on one certain thing. They basically sat me down in front of a computer they said it would take a month. It actually only had taken about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I said, well, aren't you going to show me procedures and things I need to do? Did you read all those? They're called SOPs. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, so that's your training. We don't train you. Wait a minute. I asked you specifically before I signed the paper, I signed on the dotted line, that I need to physically be shown how to do things. No, we don't do that stuff. What about the paperwork? Oh, yeah, we're going to get around to writing up lists. And then when I asked, what kind of list did you come up with for me, what I need to do? Well, you know what to do. You can figure out what you need to do. So that went out the window, too. I'm going to lean over. I'm getting my mic now over to my stories, which I don't have any up. I'll tell you right now, I have absolutely no stories up. I'm just, But I did have something on Facebook, which I was complaining about, where a friend actually, his brother did find him. The friend who just called me Todd. His brother, he's a really cool guy, his brother. I like his brother a lot. Paul found this article in a newspaper, I guess because he must have conversed, Todd, with his brother, how I get really pissed off with these people, these children who have, grown adults who have blacked out windows. And there's always a reason behind that. People say they do it for privacy, they do it because of sun glare, but it's very dangerous because at nighttime you can't see out of windows that are completely blacked out. Just took a swallow. So anyway, here was an article. I just least had to talk about this really quick. He found this in the newspaper. I don't know which one it is, somewhere in Pennsylvania here. Maybe people can figure out what newspaper it is. But the article is that he cut and pasted online. There's a way, because I have an Apple, that you can actually take anybody's article. You don't even have to download it. You can just share it right away on Facebook without even going through that procedure. It's an Apple thing that they have on their software for their computers, their OS. So anyway, it says, according to a release posted in North Coventry police website, the incident began when Pennsylvania state troopers stopped the vehicle on 422 in Upper Providence. North Coventry Police Chief Robert Shore said the car was illegally pulled over for illegal tint on windows. Basically, what that's stating is that the windows were blacked out. So it goes on to say the troopers detected an odor of marijuana, and they asked and he didn't go any further with the article. So the bottom line is, yes, people that have blacked out windows, they are doing something that generally is illegal. It's not just an isolated issue. It's always been an issue and always will be. So I was correct about that. Speaking about that, because the woman I work with, she's dealing with the same thing. I deal with it with my parents every day. Where people just spitefully, this one young girl got to him. She walks and she lets her dog off. She has this little dog. She walks, this fat girl with spandex on. She walks and she takes her dog off the leash and she lets the dog shit and piss on everything in our yard. And my mom's got, I don't know if they're called tulips. She has tulips all over the place right now. It looks really nice. So me and my mom were looking out the window. My dad was outside too. Maybe that's why she did it. But This young girl was walking with her, I guess her mother or grandmother, and she was in one of these electric wheelchairs, or whatever, walking on the sidewalk, and the dog did shit on our yard. And my mom said she was getting really mad, but the girl did pull out. I guess she got forewarned more than once. No, my dad, he probably called the cops on them, which is good on her. But she actually pulled out a bag and picked up the dog shit that was left on our yard. Because you're really supposed to do that. Technically. If you're going to have your dog, walk around, you're going to walk it outside of your own property. It's your responsibility to pick up the dog's shit. It's not the dog can't do the dog doesn't know any better. You know better, but the dog doesn't. Actually, probably the dog knows better than that girl did. But now she's... been brought to her attention. You can't, basically do that kind of shit. No puns intended. All puns intended, actually. So that was pretty interesting. So, actually, I had another story, too. Oh, and by the way, my one friend, Matt, he's sick right now. He'll probably hear this, and he probably thought he got it from me, which he obviously could have, because I did forewarn him this past weekend. I've been sick for the last couple weeks. I told my friend Matt, I said, please don't come over to the house. I'm really, really sick. You don't want to come over here. And he comes over to the bar, a movie. And he doesn't call. He just comes right over. And I was like, dude, I told you, please. I'm sick. You can tell. I can't even barely talk. I mean, I had a fever the one week, and I've just been sick ever since. And now he's sick. He actually wasn't able to go do he's, self-employed. He wasn't able to do his work. So... if it is because of me, you can only blame yourself for that, because I did tell you, it's not like I was beating around the bush. I wasn't clarifying myself. I said, listen, you could tell by my voice I'm sick, and it could be possibly really contagious, which he said probably what I had is, if it is the same thing that he has now, it is highly contagious. So it's best that you don't listen and do whatever you damn well please, because now you got yourself sick. So no puns intended. I love you, dude, but... you don't listen to me, then you say that I don't make any sense, and that would be your excuse for why you didn't listen to me. You actually did say that the other day, Matt, in the message I'm just going to mention on my show, because I've said this before about certain people doing this, but Matt, you did do this to me. You said I left you 2 messages, and they made no sense, so after a while you just basically deleted them. So it just proves my point. I'm just using you as a example, my friend Matt, that... unless what I say makes complete sense and it is precisely, laid out black and white, like clearer than a textbook, that I should not speak at all. Like I can't freely speak what I think. Like I should be a perfect, and I'm not even kidding. No offense to you, Matt, but I have to be a perfect automaton who knows exactly in anything that comes out of my mouth has to make precise clarity, has to have precise clarity and make complete sense. Like nobody else has that problem, only me. But that's not the truth. I mean, do you ever hear people talk? God, you look at some of those really bad shows on reality TV or MTV. Do you think those people even have a grasp or what do you call it? The knowledge to speak perfect English, even American? Because I'm being sarcastic. I mean, they're speaking a different language. I'm not talking like, I'm trying to think, not like Spanish or anything like that. I'm not even talking that. No, they speak such poor English. I'm not saying they have a slang, but their slang is like just incomprehensible. That to you, Matt, you think that makes more sense and that's more forgiving than me. Basically, just speaking what most people do as normal human beings. They speak their mind. So I'm just clarifying it, Matt. I did put your name there, so you don't have to think that I'm talking behind your back. I'm telling you right now. Because, dude, I know you listen to my shows, and I appreciate that. But, and you know what? I don't remember what I say. I can say this right now, and I'll forget what I said. So you're gonna penalize me on that, too. Well, you did say on your show, you should remember that. Dude, I don't remember what I say 5 minutes from now. Because right now, I'm just talking right off the top of my head. So I'm sorry that the fact that I told you a million times, and I'll tell you again, that I have had in the past, it doesn't go away. You don't grow, you don't regrow brain cells. When brain cells die, they don't reproduce themselves. They don't fix themselves. They're gone forever. You don't use your whole brain. So, I mean, just to clarify this again, Matt, no offense. I'm not trying to rip you apart. I'm not trying to be an asshole to you. But when brain cells die, they're gone forever. So my comprehension, I mean, I've had this all my life. I told you this before. I've had brain damage when I was a kid, when I was paralyzed from the waist down, and the part of my brain that tells me, okay, one leg moves after the other leg was completely destroyed. And you've seen those, Matt, and I told you what the doctor said. I had those brain scans that said, the doctor said, because you were making a joke about it, you thought it was funny, that he said, yeah, there's a lot of dark matter. There's like no brain matter there. There's like dead tissue in my head. So you know all that stuff. But yet, me who can physically, and I have the brain scans on my Facebook page still, I can prove that, is inexcusable. It's inexcusable as opposed to somebody who has never suffered brain damage or any other emotional turmoil. Matt, no offense, but to those people who don't have those issues are plausible as opposed to me who actually, it's like, okay, here's the documentation. Here's the scans, the physical scans. I have the disc. I have them on Facebook. That's inexcusable behavior. I should know better from right from wrong. But those people that basically they're just idiots because they want to be, that's excusable. So just trying to clarify that, dude. Not trying to pick on you, but you do kind of pick on me, so I just have to give it back. And if I remember it, I'll get in an argument with you about it. I don't want to because you're my friend, but I just got to clarify that too. And don't worry, the 5 people who listen to me aren't going to really care two shits either way, dude. So don't worry about it. Anyway, and trust me, I rip on people equally the same. I don't just pinpoint, okay, I'm just going to pick on Matt, because trust me, I've done 2 episodes that I was ripping my friend Todd a new asshole. I've had other episodes where I've ripped my parents new assholes. So I spread the love. Like, I don't just particularly, I rip myself apart. So, just take that in consideration. I basically hold no, what do you call it? I hold no prisoners. I basically destroy everybody equally the same, if that's even including me. So just keep that in mind, Matt, or Todd, or anyone else who listens to me, that I just don't, or Walter Interanti. I treat everyone, I rip people equally the same apart, including myself. Because my one friend, my girlfriend, I'm being sarcastic, the woman I work with, she is really cool, though. she even said, Walter, you're too hard on yourself. You can't belittle yourself because you're going to start believing that, because I've said before that, I'm a piece of shit. She said, you can't call yourself a piece of shit when you're going to start believing that you're a piece of shit if you keep on demonizing yourself. But you know what? For those out there, Matt, Todd, if I say I'm a piece of shit, you won't even answer that. But if I say you're a piece of shit, then you're going to be ripping me apart. So, you got to realize my playing ground is equal for everyone. I take no prisoners, even including myself. So anyway, I had another story I did want to mention. This was great because my mom mentioned today. She said, you won't believe what your father did yesterday. And I said, well, is it that time like where he actually, he's done some really quirky stuff. I mean, some really off the wall, quite bizarre. I already know I'm really eccentric, but I mean, like quite bizarre on some of my rituals and things like that. I have OCD. I'll admit to that. I might even have, I was joking yesterday that, hey, if I have enough sugar in me, I bounce off the walls. Like that lady in Teachers, that I probably even have ADHD. I know I've been diagnosed. I do have a learning disability. That's been documented. But, Matt, you might even say, well, that's not justifiable for your behavior. You should be held accountable for your behavior. But if you're somebody else who does not have any documentation, that you got this test that said, quote unquote, this individual has a learning disability. If they don't have that, that's excusable, though. It's only me that it's not excusable, even though I have a plethora of paperwork that dates all the way back way before I was even 10 years old on mental disabilities, physical disabilities, emotional disabilities, learning disabilities. That's all inexcusable behavior. You should be held accountable. I mean, I hate to say this, Matt, but I'm sure even if I had one leg amputated, both eyes ripped out of my head, half my brain ripped out, you would still accuse me that that's inexcusable behavior. I should be held accountable for whatever I do. No offense, but I just know the way you are. So, just letting you know, this is on the level that I'm telling you this. I mean, and you're not the only one. Hey, I rip myself apart. I'm not only just ripping you apart. You know that for a fact. I rip myself down to shreds. I rip everybody apart. Again, Walter takes no prisoners, let you know. So I just rip everybody apart equally. So, my voice is my power. And since I got it back, I'm using it. So anyway, I want to go back to my father for a minute. This is definitely passive-aggressive, by the way. This is beyond passive-aggressive. I have like these Star Wars collectible cups that I got from. They don't have anymore at what do you call it? At Subways. I was collecting them. I have like a bunch of the different characters on these Subway cups. I collect them. I use them all the time, like to drink out of, because they're nice cups. But I was collecting them. So my mom said, you won't believe what your father did. And I said, well, it wasn't that time where I caught him with his schlong hanging out in our washroom, and he was washing his underwear out in the sink because he basically, basically had a shart in his pants, and he just basically took his pants off and had no underwear on, no socks, no pants, obviously. And he was washing in the drain bin from the washing machine. He was washing his clothes, his underwear out in the sink. I said, is it worse than that? She said, oh, yeah, it really is. I said, well, what could it be? So I was running around doing laundry today. I wanted to get my hair cut today. I didn't have time, so I'm going to have to do it tomorrow now. So she said, oh, yeah, it's much worse than that. And I said, what can it be? Well, going back to the Star Wars cups, I have these collectible Star Wars cups from Subways. She said, well, he told me, since my mom won't allow my father to use my bathroom, because he goes in there and he lifts the seat up, he urinates all over the seat, he urinates all over the floor, and he just leaves it there. And he won't flush the toilet. And if he washes up at my sink, he basically gets the soap bar from the soap dispenser, slops up the sink like there's water all over the fucking place. It looks like a 5-year-old was in there. And he usually muddies up the soap, which really bothers me. And he's got mud, and like the towels are all muddied up then. The sink's all muddied up. The soap is like halfway hanging off the dish with mud all over it. And her leave it that way with piss all over the floor and all over the walls. It's like, listen, I work all the time. When I'm not at work, I'm really tired, and I'm doing these podcasts. I don't want to have to clean up after cleaning up all day at work. I don't want to come home and have to, go from one daycare to the next. So my mom just basically put her foot down with my dad, and say, listen, you can't go in there. And I didn't say he can't use the bathroom. It's his house. I just said, I'd appreciate if he cleans up after himself. If you piss, can you clean up the piss off the floor? Can you clean up off the bowl? Can you at least put the lid down? Can you flush the toilet? Can you clean up your fucking slop? And he won't. So he just doesn't go in there. So guess what he did, though, folks? He actually got one of my collectible Star Wars cups, and he used it, and my mom caught him yesterday. He was in the same washroom where he was with no underwear on, and his schlong was hanging out, our laundry room. And he pissed in my Star Wars collectible cup, and then he basically dumped it out, I guess, in the sink after he did that. So it was like, she told me that. It was like, well, you know what? That cup's got to go in the garbage can now. I'm not going to even touch it. And she said she was upset because she said, I didn't know why the cup was there. I saw one of my collectible Star Wars cups there. I didn't know he pissed in there. So where else would you put that? That's called passive-aggressive. That's the only way you can put that. That's just aggressive, actually. Thank goodness I have a lot of those cups. But he literally had the nerve to take one of my collectible cups. It's like, dude, even my mother said the same thing I was thinking. I don't want to say it. She said it. She said, why didn't he just go outside and piss in the yard? I would have made more sense than pissing in one of my collectible cups. But that just shows you what kind of human being he is and how much disrespect most people have for me. So I'm not making this up. I was half tempted to take a picture of the cup, which I might actually do, and I'll put it on as my thing tonight so people will know what I'm talking about. So anyway, that was a highlight of what I heard today. I didn't get anything done. There's this one place I go. I really like it. It's the best barbershop, I think, in Norristown. It's called Sal's. It's a bunch of young guys. Really young guys. I think they're only in their early 20s, but they have a barbershop. But I hate to say it, these guys are great, but they make their own hours, and that really kind of gets on my nerves. Like last Saturday, I went there around 4 o'clock, or like before 4 o'clock. They closed like 2 hours early because they either didn't have any business or they just wanted to go home and watch like the football game, basketball game, whatever was on. It's like, dude, you guys aren't going to stay in business. You guys do a really good job when you're open, but when you make and pick and choose your own hours, especially the weekends, honestly, you want to be open later on at least Saturday because that's the day that people aren't working. They're going to come in, you're going to get more business. You're cutting your own throats by doing this. So anyway, I checked today. I slept in till like 3:30. By the time I got ready, it was after 4. It was like they closed at 4 o'clock. It's like, dude, you're not going to these guys aren't going to run a business if you close early all the time. And it's a shame because I got like the next 2 weeks, I'll be so busy. Now, tomorrow I'm going to have to set my alarm just to get up. For me, I'm going to have to set my alarm to get up at a decent time because I guarantee you I'll go there at 12 or 1 o'clock, and I guarantee you they might even be closed then because they have an etched set of times when they're going to close during the weekends, and they don't even stick to those most of the time. Now, I don't mean to down these guys because, again, I tried some other barbershop. Cost me more money, older man, and he did a really shitty haircut compared to these guys. They do an excellent job. I mean, these guys are top notch. But do you know what, guys? I love you guys because you do really good hair at Sal's, but don't get too big for your bridges, please, because you really need... They did change your times now because it used to be they were open on Saturdays until I think 6 o'clock or 5:30. They now changed it to 4 o'clock. But you got to keep your times, and if you're open till 4 o'clock, stay open till 4. Don't close at 2 because that's what they did last week, and that really pissed me off. It was something like that. I forget. It was 2 weeks ago. And it got me mad because I got a horrible haircut. These guys do a better job. You guys at Sal's, you do an excellent haircut. And I'm going to stand by that because you really do great hair cuts. So anyway, I just want to go through some of these stories. I had to tell you about my dad, though, and that just really shocked me. And plus, I have to go out. I got to pick up some stuff at the Walmart. Thank God they're open till all hours in the morning, which I hate going there late at night because you're always going to encounter like the most interesting people. It's already like 7:30, so I don't even know if I'll be able to do it. Maybe tomorrow I'll go out and get things done for the week. But anyway, there's a story that I saw from Christopher Morbid Lee. I haven't read him in a while. I'm just going to read a little bit of the what do you call it? The little bit of the paraphrasing, or not paraphrasing. The supposed to drag you in to read the rest of the story. It's a story by, it says James Leroy Evans. Now, James Leroy Evans, he's this white dude with a red beard. So, cut to the chase, because his name's James Leroy. No, I'm not going to say this is a white dude. I'll tell you right now. Arrested over rape and killing of a dog hanged from a tree. So he raped and hung a dog by its neck. This was in Olympia, Washington. Police have arrested a 33-year-old James Leroy Evans, accusing him of raping and killing a pit bull found hung from a tree last month. See, that's why I'm glad I clarified, because, people are going to say, well, you're picking on certain people. No, this was a white dude. This guy's fucked in the head. And, when they hear pit bull, the name, they're going to think right away that I'm trying to, kind of gear my story to one way, which I obviously did not, because you can look at the dude's picture, too. For those of you who may have missed the original story, a mountain biker found a dog was hanging from a tree in March. So they actually pinpointed who had hung this poor dog. So just let you know. You know what? I'm not going to open up because these were just pictures, but there was something. They were really hot-looking pictures, too, of Britney Spears. I haven't said that in a long time. Last time she was hot was when she was 16. I'm just being sarcastic. No, seriously. It says she's a slave for you with the letter U. Britney Spears for live comeback and epic career revival. She looks really hot, too. By the way, talking about that, I know people at work think that I'm like some pedophiliac or somebody who needs to be locked up or put on Megan's Law, because I love these kids shows. And I did justify myself. I said, well, a lot of these kids shows, honestly, are a lot more entertaining than a lot of these shows that are designed for adult people. They're horrible, most of them. Really. So anyway, there's this one show I haven't watched while I bought my season pass, which really pissed me off. Netflix had it on. It was that show called Girl Meets World. That's actually a Disney show now. But when I was much, much younger, I used to watch Boy Meets World. I didn't watch them all, but I remember when it was on, I would try to catch it, and I used to really like that show. With Corey Matthews and that guy who played his best friend, who was in every bizarre horror movie, the guy who played his friend, because you don't hear about him anymore. He played in Cabin Fever, his friend, the actor that played his friend on the show. So anyway, they brought the show back where he has a daughter or anything like that, and you could see it was only on for, I think, 3 years, which it's hard to believe it's on that long. That show I'd even mentioned to the friend at work, my coworker that's been helping me right now. I'd recommend it for her granddaughter to watch, because that show is really, really good. It's a little quirky, but I tell you, I don't know how many times I found myself like in tears watching this show, because it gets really emotional, because it hits on that generation. You're talking middle school kids, the anguish they go through, but it also hits on the lifestyles and behaviors and emotional turmoil of being a parent and just being an adult as well. So, but you watch these girls in these 3 years, you see these girls, like, I thought they were really mature from the first episode I watched, but there was a lot. Like, I go from these shows, because I haven't mentioned this in a while, Girl Meets World. I go from the shows learning something, like I get an education off those shows. And it's funny because the actor who plays Corey Matthews, he was the same age as the girl who plays him, like he's the father now. And this daughter who the actress who plays his daughter is the same age he was. But she looks much more mature than he did when he started making Boy Meets World. So the one with Boy Meets World, that show was really good. It was funny. It was basically your typical 80s show, I guess, so to speak, or was it 90s? I can't remember. But that was more quirky. The one she does is just definitely really, like, you're going to find yourself, like, in tears sometimes because of stuff they deal with. Like, her best friend had a mother that wasn't there for her all the time, or you had a character where the father wasn't there all the time. I mean, real life issues that really just get to you, like in the heartstrings, and they really pull at them hard. Just having relationship problems with friends or people you want to be a boyfriend or girlfriend with, or family issues within the family. Yeah, I mean, it's got its little bit of quirkiness, which you expect from Disney shows, but this show is really well written. And just the character, this is what I want to mention about Corey Matthews. The character, he's now an adult. And see, there's a lot of... I got so far with Boy Meets World because I bought the whole box set so I could watch all the shows I never watched. Because with Corey Matthews, that character, it started with him being like 12 years old or 13 years old, all the way from him going through high school, middle school, high school, college, and then getting married and having a wife. So they went through his whole entire life within like the span of 10 or so years. Maybe, I forget what it was. So then they picked up where they continue on, where he has a daughter now and a son, and they continue with that. But from him being the little quirky kid who was always getting into trouble, but he learned so much from his mentor, which was the character Mr. Feeney, who was the guy who played the voice on Knight Rider. He's the voice of the kit car. Mr. Feeney taught him so well that character was this little quirky, nappy-haired little kid that was always getting in trouble is now a mature adult, given life lessons to, because he's a teacher now, to his kids, who was also his student, and her friends. So they left the season finale, by the way, they're going the same premise, which I was hoping they were going to do, and I was really choked up seeing this, where his daughter, she was in middle school, and you see her grow from like a little girl into a young adult, or in front of your eyes when you watch these 3 seasons. That I think it's 3 seasons, maybe it's only 2. I think it's 3, and her friends grow up and become young adults, like young little girls, little boys into young adults now. They think differently, they act differently. You see them, how they have their anguishes together, and they don't know, and they actually took Corey, the dad, the daughter, and everybody from the school said that we are not done learning what you have to offer us, not only as a father but as a teacher. So they talked, and they said we talked to, we had the right people to talk to. Now that you can continue to teach us in high school, from middle school, you will be our high school teacher. They did the same thing with Mr. Feeney, where Mr. Feeney was their grade school teacher, then became, their middle school teacher, then their high school teacher. So they're continuing that now with Corey Matthews. So this is the first show I've personally ever saw where you grow and you live your life by watching this show. You watch them grow from little kids to young adults to being adults and having their families. They're doing this whole thing all over again. So I'm hoping it's going to last. I think it will. It's already, been on, I believe, for 3 years. So this would be the 4th year if it does continue. So anyway, that was really cool. I got really choked up watching it. I thought it was really good. I would recommend it for the woman who's working with me now, the friend I have now that's with me at work. I would definitely recommend, hey, if you want to have your grandkid watch something, have her watch this. This show is very, very intense. It's very emotional, too. And I think there's always something for somebody to learn. There's nothing wrong with this show at all. So I wanted to say that. And I wanted to mention, it was funny because the one guy who bought, a friend at work who bought my Surface, I didn't realize, he said during Christmas he bought his kids a PlayStation 4, and I said, oh, I didn't know they had one, because I actually got, you don't have to. That's the nice thing about PlayStation. You don't have to buy it, but you can. I bought a season pass for PlayStation 4. Did you get like certain perks, which I thought I would never use. I end up using it more now. You can get extra features for free. It's like $54 for the year. So let's see, you divide, I think it's like $50 for the year. So you say 50 divided into, actually that's like 75 cents a day. That's no math. Well, if it was $52, it'd be perfect, because there's 52 weeks in a year, right? I can't remember. So it's like less than 75 cents a week for this thing. And you get not only get like extra perks, exclusive for people that are part of it's called the PlayStation Network, you get a lot of free games too. So I end up downloading like certain games that I used to pay for. They're now free. They even have this one that you make your own character in the Marvel Universe, and you go around help fighting with on your own. Though you become a new superhero by making your own character, like the way they look. I always pick the females because they're actually the best to look at too, but they actually are the most mobile as far as when you go in the fights. So you can give your character, it's like a role-playing game basically, but I don't know how to role-play. But you make your own character up. That was free, though, if you have the PlayStation Network account. You can get the cheaper one, but for a whole year, it's $50. It's worth it. So I got this DC Universe game. It's an online game. You play it yourself. I don't know. You probably get involved with other people, but it's like role-playing where you make your own character, and every time you win a fight, you actually built your character's strengths and stuff. So it's exactly like a role-playing game. But it was free. And then I got this game that I liked. I mentioned it before, called Zombie, which was, at one point, it was exclusively only for the Wii U. And now it's free if you have the network account. Once you download it, it's yours. You keep it. So I got that game for free. And then I downloaded some other game for free. I actually got, because I was a PlayStation Network, I got an account for a year. I got this Batman game that, for the people who are part of the PlayStation Network, it's like a $60 game. I got it. It was on sale for $19. It's like, no brainer. I'm going to buy it. So I got stuck on that game. Then I got this game that I used to play I loved. It was one of those DOA games, I think, or I think it was one of the DOA games, one of those Tekken games. If you're a PlayStation Network user, like you got the account for the year, the game was absolutely free. It was like, crap, this is like a holiday. That $50 is paying for itself by you just downloading those extras if it's stuff you want to use. But honestly, I found things I can make use of, I can be entertained by, and it's not costing me anything because it's free for the exclusive people that have that account. I think you don't need the network account, but I also downloaded, which I actually find it really fun, was the new Doom game. They have a multiplayer demo right now, which is going to be running through the weekend, they said. I don't know. I actually did play it a little bit last night. I actually had a blast with it, which I'm playing against real people. I don't like doing that personally, but this is fun. For those folks who remember id Software back in the day when they made this game called Quake 3 Arena, where you played... it was a multiplayer game. It was designed for you to play against other people. Back then, though, your network connection wasn't powerful enough, because I did do that game online a couple times, but the network wasn't broadband back then, so it wasn't as good as it is now. But what they basically did is they made Quake 3 Arena, which is done by id Software. They made a new version of it with Doom characters. Like, you play the characters who are like the main character of Doom. It looks kind of like that. It looks like the Halo character to me. But your character looks like that right now. There's going to be a single-player game. It's called a campaign game, I guess. You will have the campaign mode, but you also have the multiplayer mode, which then you have to buy... you have to buy a pass to go online and play against other people. They're going to charge you for that part, in addition to the game. Unless you buy like a grandiose game, you can get like a pass indefinitely, probably then. So anyway, I was playing this, like, you know what? This is actually really fucking cool. I mean, you're playing against other people. It has the same feel, look, and theme as Quake 3 Arena, which was a really popular game back in the day because you had these different maps where you're fighting amongst each other, and you built up your character's level by basically kicking the shit out of other people. So apparently, I guess, obviously, Quake 3 Arena was so popular back in the day that they revamped it into the new Doom game. Again, there's going to be a campaign mode. But I'm not much for multiplayer games. And trust me, this was one game that was like, dude, this is freaking awesome. I actually really like the multiplayer mode where you're actually playing in a map where it is, I think my one friend at work, this guy who bought my Surface, he said, yeah, his sons, both of them. He has two sons and he has a daughter. The sons like playing like those games like the sniper games, or what do you call it, the war games where you're playing against each other. I consider them like the Call of Duty kind of games or whatever you call them. They like those games. Well, I tell you, this is like, to me, those games are kind of like don't keep my attention span. That Doom multiplayer game, it got really bad ratings because the guy looked it up at work, he said, and he said, yeah, it's got really bad reviews. It's got like 33% people actually like the game. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This game is awesome. So maybe it's just a matter of your taste. I thought the game was really cool. So I just have to say, and it's free, by the way, for the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC right now. They're not making it. So it's Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC only right now because you need a powerful machine. And it is really fun. Trust me, I really got caught up into it last night. I was playing it for a little bit. So I have to throw that out there for people too. Anyway, I got this story I found. I got it from the dailystar.com UK. And it's pretty weird if you want to look at it. It says graphic content. And it's these people who have these cysts. There's a picture of a woman who has a cyst in her leg. It looks like a big bump. It says Dr. Pimple Popper reveals 24-year-old cyst as most disgusting of all time. And you can actually see this woman. She has a big lump on her leg. It looks like almost like a cancer thing, but it's actually I guess a cyst could be cancerous, can it? On her leg. It's pretty disgusting, but they pop it. And there's something I kind of looked at. I don't know what, I think it's like basically it's trash newspaper for online, like the Daily Inquisitor or whatever, Daily whatever. You know, those trash newspapers you find in the grocery market. Well, there's one called the dailystar.co.uk. It's the same exact thing. So they have everything except Bat Boy on there. But they have this one with this woman who's, I felt bad. She's got really fucked up teeth, and it says, remember which I don't know because this is a British newspaper. Remember Jeremy Kyle Guest? Well, she'd been given a Cinderella makeover. So these people that have they were born genetically, their teeth are all fucked up or something else, or faces are fucked up, and they got plastic surgery. But yeah, you can find some really interesting stuff as a bottom line on the dailystar.co.uk, just to give you a heads up. Now, I did this for the guys that are, like me, kind of pathetic. This was actually on the dailystaruk.com. I didn't realize, with this Asian woman who's a tennis player, and she's on, got ultra short shorts. She's a tennis player, and she's got, massively big boobies. And it says, this tennis video just became an internet smash hit. Can't think why. Well, the girl's got, Triple H breasts, and she's, this Asian chick. And she's got these shorts that her butt is literally barely covered, and she's a tennis player. It's I don't know how she doesn't knock herself out with her breasts because they're that huge. Busty Babe becomes a Facebook sensation with thousands of views on social media. So for those sick fucks out there like me, check it out on my Facebook page. Bubba the Love Sponge had put up some pretty interesting stories. He used to work with Stern on Stern Radio, but now I don't know where he is at. I think he got kicked off. I don't know what he does. I think he does do broadcasts somewhere. He had a story up, UK government concerned too many people could be trying anal sex. Government worried that too many people could be trying anal sex again, is what it said. The government is concerned that an increasing number of young people are trying anal sex, according to the official consolation or something, officials at the Department of whatever for Culture. One of the problems with anal sex, by the way, no offense, not that I've ever tried it, that's basically guys basically fucking women up in the asshole. The problem with that is, I hate to tell you, is women will get what's called a pink sock. That means their internal, what do you call it? Your intestine basically falls out. Like they call it the pink sock though syndrome. Like your intestine falls out of your anus. It's no joke. It's called the pink sock for those who don't know. I put some really disgusting video, and somebody came up to me and they were asking me about that. Is that for real? And I was like, yeah. My one friend, Matt, asked me about it. Little Matt. Where there's these Asian chicks. It's some like type of fetish where the one Asian chick is literally vomiting the other woman's mouth and she's eating it. I'm not even joking. That's a real deal thing, so just let you know. I got some GIF. Goofy gift somebody put up. I put on my Facebook page with Al Pacino from The Godfather holding a little yellow pussycat while he's playing a piano. It's pretty funny. New Jersey Comic Expo 2016. I think that either happened or will be happening. No, actually, it's November 19th and 20th, so that did not happen yet. I don't know if I'm going to go this year. I don't even know if I have the money to do that, but if I can, I will, because I have other things I got to worry about right now. Keeping my bills now that they're under control, keeping them there. For those who like to wear bizarre and sexy things, I actually did post a picture I had borrowed from Chris Turry, of an Evil Dead Necronomicon thong. The Necronomicon book. Somebody made one into a thong, a themed Necronomicon into a thong, a woman's thong, I hope. Ed posted a story from the Morning Call, didn't know about it, forgot all about it, about Diana Ross. Bethlehem police are investigating a car crash involving Diana Ross in her limo and a second vehicle. That was weird. I didn't even know Diana Ross was actually in the area, because Bethlehem, that's not that far from here that I know. Another interesting story. I'm just going to go through these really, really quick at this point. Is at this point, honestly, I'm not going to go anywhere tonight because I want to watch that Godzilla movie on MeTV. Excuse me. So anyway, there was this story I got, borrowed or whatever, shared. It was from 100%fedup.com. It says, it begins when a man dressed as a woman in a woman's bathroom. You won't believe what he did next. I can't believe the punishment this man was given is unreal. So this man dressed up like as a woman just to go into a woman's bathroom. So he's one of these sick fucks with a sick fetish. 100% fed up. We told you so. A man was having a blast peeping in stalls in the restroom and filming women. Not one, but 3 at a time this year. 3 times this year. I never thought of doing that. This is yet another reason to keep the bathrooms the way they are. With the new laws, more men like this can basically identify as a woman and can get into a locker room or bathroom illegally. I personally would not mind that. I know where this is going, where they're trying to make it, if you feel that you're a woman and you're a guy, you just proclaim you're transgender, you'll be able to go into a woman's bathroom and basically take a shower, relieve yourself with the women. And it's like, well, I don't know about the relieving myself, but I wouldn't mind, hey, that'd be the only way I'll be able to see a woman nude anyway, so I might as well go for it. So, I mean, I hate to say it, I'll never get one any other way. I was joking with a friend at work, by the way. She never heard of that, about these thing called, I found out about those years ago from Howard Stern. Things called the Real Doll. They're like 10 grand. Real dolls, basically, they're very heavy. But for people like me that are extremely desperate and will never have a woman, you buy a real doll. And it's not a blow-up doll, but it's equivalent to that. But actually better because they're made of silicone and stuff like that. So they have like real skin texture, real hair, not real hair, but they have hair. And they have the weight and body mass, and probably they're anatomically correct in all the right areas where you could basically you can have sex with them. You just gotta have to clean them up afterwards. But they're basically like glorified mannequins that feel like real people. And they're basically meant for people that are just desperate fucks like me that can't get anything any other way. But they're very expensive. But Howard Stern had those on years ago. He bought one as a joke and had the guy on who was making these things and how much they were charging. And I remember there was a show on years ago where this guy actually took his real doll out and, like, you know, took it out for dinner and romanced it and took it around like it was a real person. But it's basically an adult doll for, you know, men. They probably make them for women too, but an adult doll for men just to have a relationship when they can't have one with a real person. That'd be me again. So anyway, this guy who walked into this bathroom dressed up as a woman, and they say this is why you need to stop this. A man dressed as a woman was arrested in Virginia on Monday after police say he was caught peeping into a restroom stall 3 times in the past, like I mentioned before. Richard Rodriguez, 30, doesn't even look like Rodriguez would make me think he's Hispanic. He doesn't look it. Filmed a woman in a bathroom stall at the Pometic Mills Mall, Prince Williams County police said on Tuesday. The 35-year-old woman was in the stall when she saw the bag move towards her under the stall divider. Rodriguez apparently has been filming her, police had stated. There's more to that story if you want to read it. I just think it's hilarious. You know what? I honestly can't. I don't think I could get off on, especially a woman relieving herself. I don't find that it's sexually attractive. The last thing I want to hear is a woman flagellating, shitting, or pissing. I don't think I would like go and say, okay, now I'm going to film this and then take it home and relieve myself with that. I actually would probably do something different. I'd probably be vomiting over it. I wouldn't say, oh my God, this is really turning me on, seeing a woman, you know, basically taking a shit or pissing or, you know, basically blasting away while she's trying to relieve herself. Yeah, I hate to say that there's certain things, there's a reason, you know, there's certain things you just don't want to know about. Men, well, women don't have that, they're not that fortunate. You know, unfortunately, guys just don't give a fuck. They're going to do whatever they want to do in front of women. But, you know, that is, I'll admit, that's a double standard. Like, it's considered disgusting to hear a woman shit, piss, or fart. Now, there's some, obviously, there's some sick fucks out there that think that's really hot. And there is actually, I've seen these, you know, you just for the hell of it see like how bizarre people can get. There is actually, you can pay for women, even in these live chat rooms. I'm not even kidding, where there's a fetish where you can pay for watching women basically fart. I'm not even kidding. And it's like, why would anybody want to buy a fetish video where a woman basically forces herself to flagellate? I mean, there's that joke where, that was actually mentioned on that show Teachers, where she said, oh, yeah, they were making, it was a joke on the show where the one woman was deliberately on the mics in the school, she was queefing. So that's funny enough. I mean, I find that kind of funny. Now, for people who don't know what queefing is, I'll just give you the plain and right to the point, not going to hold back. It's a pussy fart. So if you don't know what a pussy fart is, it's a vagina fart. You get air in the vagina, and it makes like this noise that sounds like, and that's exactly what it sounds like almost. I'm not even kidding. So I heard about it years ago. I'll neither confirm or deny if I've ever heard it myself, but yeah, it's hilarious. So, you know, that's bad, but that's actually fucking hilarious. Hearing a woman, though, they probably even have one's own queefing, but the pussy fart. But hearing a woman actually fart is actually not funny at all. In fact, this is no joke, but years ago, some girl, she was really obnoxious. She was like, really mean to me, too. She was actually, no offense, but she was kind of fugly, too. And me with my low self-esteem was like, I got my one friend, Trevor, to ask her out for me. And it was like, he actually pulled me aside because I said, yeah, I really want to ask this girl out, but I'm too shy. And I asked my friend Trevor, and he says, I'll do it for you, dude, because, he was a friend of mine. I still consider him a friend. I don't talk to him, but he was, I always ask my friends to do, like, ridiculous things. Like my friend Linda that time, I asked her to go buy me a rubber vagina, or what do you call it, one of those sexual vaginas at Adult World, and she actually did it for me. It was like, yeah, I'm a real sick fuck, but I mistreat my friends. But my friend Trevor, I actually got him to ask out this girl for me. She worked at Kmart back in the day, and he actually pulled me aside, and he had that look of his face that he just saw something so horrendous that he was ready to hurl in the bathroom. And he was like, are you serious? You really want me to ask out this girl for you? And it was like, yeah. It was like, I figured, well, she'd be really nice, but she was a monster. Literally a monster. I'm serious. Well, yeah, she was. So he did ask her out for me, and it was like, it took all his decency to do it because he couldn't bear to look at her in the face. She was really ugly looking. I'm not trying to be mean. I am being mean, but I'm not trying to be mean. But again, that's just my low self-esteem. So he asked her out, and one time she loved to just belittle me, like my friend Matt does. She liked to belittle me. Actually, Matt helped me one time. I'm being sarcastic with Matt. Matt actually, one time, he did me a big favor, and she had certain stuff in mind, and I didn't want to be involved with her, and I broke up with her. Whatever happened. So Matt actually went to the house. He went with me, my friend Matt, and he actually got the stuff, and she was insulting me even then. I refused to talk to her because she was a shit at, a real asshole. So anyway, the one time when she was yelling at me, she got so mad, like she was sucking in air up her asshole because she was like, literally, her face was like, she had a lot of acne on her face too. And, yeah, she was yelling at me, like screaming on the top of her lungs. Her face was beat red. She had all this acne on her face, too. She basically, I think even Trevor called her crater face. So maybe I did, for all I know. I probably did, too. But, yeah, she was a real prick, a real asshole, and she was yelling at me. She was yelling so hard and sucking in so much air from her behind that she literally was like, when she was in the middle of yelling at me, she farted, and I started laughing. It was like, I couldn't even keep a straight face. Like, listen, bitch, I mean, you're like yelling at me, ripping me a new asshole, just showing how you like don't respect anybody, and having fun, just picking on me that you were yelling and you farted, and I heard it, and she acted like she continued to yell, and I started laughing. It was like, She couldn't keep a straight face. That was the thing. She couldn't keep a straight face either. But bottom line, that was disgusting. That was really gross. So I always thought, that'd be kind of, I was laughing about that, though. But, yeah, that was pretty funny. So that's no joke. So, but yeah, there's certain things. I don't even know how I got started on it, but that was pretty funny. But it's disgusting, too. But those love dolls, yeah. You know what? If I ever came into, like, I got a couple $1 million, I would buy one probably in a heartbeat, just because then I wouldn't have to deal with it. I joke with the woman I work with, the one I call my girlfriend, jokingly. I mean, I don't mean it seriously, so if her husband listens in, there's nothing going on between you and me and your wife. She's just been a great, big help to me, and I don't want to lose her as a coworker, because she's really fun to talk to, and she's been a big help. Just let her husband know in case he listens in. She's a wonderful woman. She's great. She doesn't look her age either. She looks like she's in her 30s. I swear to God, I'm not even just trying to kiss up to her. She really does look really good, incredible, and she's an excellent worker. She's like the best worker I've ever had. Well, I've had other ones, but she's like the best worker I've ever had as a coworker. So, just to let you know. So anyway, by the way, I did find it for her. The reminder, the friend at work that's been helping me. The link for YouTube, it's Podcast Studio how to set up and record your first podcast. So you can find that. That is very helpful. That is the Bible to setting up a podcast. But you will need to purchase, put a plan for either SoundCloud, just to remind you, SoundCloud or Audacity, SoundCloud or Spreaker. That's the only way, because you need to have somewhere to put your stuff, and that's why I'm paying for it. Literally. Not getting anything in return, but that's what I'm paying for. And it's therapy, as my mom says. Anyway, I saw this the other day because I still have, deep down inside, I love seeing them together, is Miley Cyrus and her dad, because I think her dad's really cool. I always thought Miley Cyrus was really funny. I did like her music. I don't like it anymore, but I did like her in the past. Anyway, it says country artists condemn LGBT law, but labels remain silent. You know what? It's funny, by the way. I forgot to mention in that TV show called Teachers, there's all stereotypical teachers in that show. The one is actually one of these women who support gay and lesbian rights, and she's like one of these modern hippies, or she's all natural stuff and shit like that. So they make jokes. It's like, yeah, when she shits, it smells like crap or something. Like it's all natural herbs. It's like basically like a cow took a shit. So they do bring that up too on that show, Teachers. I can't say enough about Teachers. It wasn't that funny, but the stereotypes were freaking hilarious. A friend, John, at work told me about some stereotypical movie that he thought was really funny, picking on people that act like they're kind of, making a stereotype out of the ghetto type scene with rap and stuff. And he told me the name of the movie, and I forgot it. He said it was freaking hilarious. I actually told him I don't like Jamie Kennedy. I don't think he's like that great. But I literally was in tears watching Jamie Kennedy when he did that movie called Malibu's Most Wanted. Like basically rich boy kids in California, guys and girls, actually adults acting like kids, and acting like they're like basically street thugs, where they act like they're tough, but they're basically big pussies. And that movie was hilarious. I actually bought it. I haven't watched it again, but I bought it a while back. Sorry, I just swallowed the water and went down the wrong way. But there's like excuse me, there's like these people that they try to act like they're basically middle class or upper middle class people who try to act like they're thugs, and it's like, dude, you're a fucking joke. So there's certain movies like that kind of bust on that, and I love that. So anyway, there was another one. I was going to kind of overpass it, but I'm going to read it sometimes for all. Because it looks really good. It's making me hungry right now. About this cook they picked up that used to work at this Conshohocken Diner, 401 Diner breakfast with the original cook. And it says the cook who whipped up your breakfast favorites at 401 Diner is back in the restaurant former location in Conchi now Pudgy's Steak. So Pudgy's Steak is a great place. You want really good steaks. My parents, there's the Pudgy's in Norristown that is excellent. You don't get better than that. Well, now they picked up the cook for the one. They opened one in Conchi now. Actually, wait a minute. It's not Pudgy's. Is it Pudgy's? I think it's Pudgy's. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The place that you want the best steaks in the universe, you go to Lou's down in Norristown. Lou's Steaks is the best in Norristown, right in the heart of Norristown. It's right across from the church, by the way. I can't remember that. Presbyterian church, whatever it was. Here it is. It might be a Christian church. I think it's Presbyterian. Anyway, Pudgy's another place. It's really good. They opened one now in Conchi where they got this cook that used to work for this 401 Diner. He's actually now at the Pudgy's. So Pudgy's generally only serves steaks. Now they're going to be serving breakfast as well, or have been. So that's really cool. I wasn't going to read this one either, but I'm looking at it. It looks really cool. There is it's basically an Outback steak kind of restaurant. Not that it's Outback. Zombie Outbreak. It says Zombie Outbreak, though. I think it's a steak place. Orlando Attraction, Zombie Outbreak. Oh, I guess I was wrong. I thought it was see, that would be great, though. Wouldn't you think that would be a good idea? I was totally wrong on this one. I thought it was a steak place. I was wrong. Fox 13 News, by the way. Orlando Attraction, Zombie Outbreaks Outbreak. It's a place. Lets players fight off Walking Dead. I heard about something like that. They were supposed to open one up around here in Pennsylvania somewhere. When I went to that convention up in Wilkesboro, these guys were there. They had this really hot-looking girl there, too. She had, like, barely anything on, and she was kind of promoting it. But anyway, this place in Orlando says, if you're looking for a great way to prepare for a zombie apocalypse, whatever how you say it, you might want to head over to the International Drive in the new Zombie Outbreak live action place. They were supposed to open one in Pennsylvania, and I never went to it. I said I was. The only reason I was actually talking to anybody there was because it was this really hot chick around there. That would, that's smart. You put a girl that basically got a thong on and it was like well endowed, and you could sell me a piece of shit, and I'll buy it off you just to look at the girl. Trust me, that's how desperate I am. Todd posted some story which I did not read, but I'm looking at now from the Daily Headline News. Man arrested after claiming to be a transgender filming a woman in a restroom. You know what I think? But this is like a different mugshot. So same situation where a guy proclaims to be a transgender, but he actually was not, just to get his rocks off on, basically filming women in the bathroom. So, yeah, God, I got to pick myself up a dress. I'll leave it at that. I got one from Christopher Morbid Lee, man charged with murder after rupture man's testicle during a robbery. Wow. Man charged with murder after rupture man's testicle during robbery in the Dreamin' Demon. This happened in Cleveland, Ohio. I don't really want to read that, so I apologize. You can find that in the Dreamin' Demon. Basically, the reason is because it's getting really late. It's after 8. It's going to be only like another hour and a half, and I'm not going to be able to go out tonight if I want to watch Godzilla. New York Daily News, there was an article somebody gave to me. The dog was hiding in the house. The owner of a 20-pound Maltese named Princess told the Daily News, I hope the dog wasn't talking, she never hides. I had a feeling there was something going on in my house. Man had sex with dog caught when it began hiding. So the dog started hiding from its owner because the dog's owner was basically having sex with it. A Lower East Side woman who caught her boyfriend on tape having sex with her dog first became suspicious after the dog started hiding out. She told the news. It's a real story. Somebody put up a really funny picture of these swimming pools, and it really does look like one. And it says, "Stay safe, Godzilla." And what it looks like, it's hanging up. It says like for $20, $19.97, are those kids' swimming pools. But this one particular swimming pool looks like, I swear to God, it looks like an oversized condom. So they put on there, "Stay safe, Godzilla," like basically wear protection, wear rubber. And it really does look like one, too. I'm not even kidding. Story from Mandatory that I had posted up. I won a party with this kid, Georgia student arrested for clearing out Athens bar with his fart spray called liquid ass. That's a real story. Where was that? Mandatory. That's not a joke. That's a real story. I had a lot of cool stuff from MeTV. They had the Bee Gees when they did that. Bee Gees. I remember years ago, I had to go see this movie twice with my brothers. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Band. I saw that down the shore with my brother, my middle brother. And I really hated that movie, but for some reason I went and saw it twice. But it was the worst movie I thought I've ever seen. Seen, whatever. Sarah Michelle Gellar, she had her birthday, I guess, the other day, so she put up. She's really cute. I still love Sarah Michelle Gellar. She put up a picture of herself, really sexy picture to me. She's really cute looking. Thank you so much for your birthday wishes. She put some birthday cakes and a picture of herself holding some balloons. I feel very loved today. I mean, I want to see her do something else in the science fiction sense, because Sarah Michelle Gellar, she is the best science fiction / horror / whatever actress I've ever seen. I want to see her do some more. She's really young still, too. So I want to see her do more. I put up a really weird picture, and I just had to take it off somebody's webpage, bar or whatever, from Facebook, because it was really bizarre. It's a basically open ladies' high heel, open toe shoe, whatever, made out of human skin. It's not real human skin, I hope, but it's really disgusting. But it really caught my attention, so I really had to put that up. And there's a picture. I swear to God, I didn't mean to take this lady's picture, this girl's picture. It says Wanda Carr's photo, but she looks just like Sarah Michelle Gellar. So I put it up, and she's in front of, at a comic convention, she's in front of the original Ghostbusters car. And it was like, that's got to be Sarah Michelle Gellar. But then I looked, I was like, wait a minute, I don't think it is. So I apologize. I took some girl's picture. She probably thinks, why is this freak taking my picture and putting it up on his Facebook page? I did it because I thought it was Sarah Michelle Gellar. She goes to all these comic book conventions. Because technically, she played Buffy. She's a comic book hero. So anyway, there was this really funny picture somebody put up, and it's hilarious. And it's like supposed to be of an advertisement from Tom Holland's Terror Time page. And it's a picture of, supposed to be for hand soap, made up hand soap. And it shows a guy on the ground, or a woman, stabbed in the chest, just a guy's arm with blood all over it. And it says, when ordinary soap just does not work. And it says underneath in the caption, it looks like it would be a legit thing, but you wouldn't go around killing people, and you need a special soap to get the blood off. But I swear to God, it's hilarious, like hand soaps. Kills 99.99% bacteria for clean hands every day. And it's like basically what soap you use after you murder somebody. I got some goofy picture up also from Dialect Daily, because he always puts up really cool dialect stuff. Doctor Who, so just let you know. Daily Mail Australia actually put up something I had never heard of, but there's like some type of new thing that people are putting into their glass bowls to smoke, smoking their pipe. This is no joke. This was yesterday. They're come in with a worn-out penis. The rise of chemsex, where men inject meth and have sex for days. Chemsex, also known as a party in play or PNP, has developed as a subcultural in Australia where people meet up, take ice, I think it's that drug called ice, and then have sex for substance periods of time. Is it substance? Oh, sustain periods of time. So that was pretty weird. I didn't know about that. J.J. Abrams reveals clue about the identity of Rey's parents and the Star Wars Underworld. That's on StarWarsUnderworld.com. I haven't watched it, so I don't really know. Parole approved for Charles Manson cult member Leslie Van Houten. The California panel has granted parole to the former Charles Manson follower Leslie Van Houten more than 4 decades after she went to prison for the notorious killer of Charles Manson. She is much older now. That was 40 years ago. She was like 19 at the time, so she's like 60 now. She's finally up permitted to have parole. I put up some picture of some guy that was a grandfather to Johnny Depp. And his grandfather looks exactly like Johnny Depp does now. So that was pretty weird. MeTV put something up. The beloved Bewitched actress was born on this day in 1933. I love her, Elizabeth Montgomery. She was really freaking hot back in the day. She actually played in some Twilight Zones as well as playing Bewitched. That was on MeTV.com, by the way. So there's something on there. That was yesterday, her birthday was. Found a story, M. Night Shyamalan's Tales from the Crypt, Greenlight by TNT. So I don't know. M. Night Shyamalan's, he lives around here. He lives outside or within Philadelphia area still. He is going to be making a new Tales of the Crypt. So that's going to be really cool as well. I hope he shoots it within the Philly area. That'd be really awesome. Because generally he tries to stay within Philadelphia to give us, the people around here, jobs. So I hope he does it again. He's not always very successful. When he is, he tries to, shoot within Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Anyway, from comicbookmovie.com, Batman the Killing Joke officially rated R. Now, get this. I thought this was going to be for the live-action film that they proclaimed they want to get Jared Leto to do. No, it actually isn't. That's for the cartoon. So it's going to be the first time a cartoon DC comic movie is going to get a rated R rating because The Killing Joke is very graphic. I believe that she gets killed, but a Batgirl gets also sexually assaulted as well. I think Robin actually does get killed. That's what I thought I heard. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So there was that. And speaking on that line, by the way, about rape and stuff, Opposing Views actually put up a picture, a mugshot of this guy and an infant, a 3-week-old baby. Now get this. Opposing Views. This was yesterday. He grabbed a 3-week-old daughter, this guy, raped her, tortured her, and then finally killed her. A 3-week-old infant. He, once again, raped, tortured, and then finally murdered her. Do you think his punishment was severe enough? So I don't know what he got. Don't really want to open at this point. Dad had raped 3-week-old daughter. So, I mean, that infant couldn't even know what was going on around them, and he killed him. Now, why would any human being want to rape a 3-week-old baby? That's like raping a fetus, in my opinion. Well, I mean, it's an infant. It's a child, but still. So I don't want to go any further with that. You can find that on Opposing Views if you're interested. MeTV actually put something up really cool to lighten the mood. Did your family use a plastic screen to turn your black and white TV set into color? I don't remember that. I think I did remember them doing that one time on Happy Days. They kind of brought it up on one of the Happy Days episodes. Who remembers putting on color screens on their black and white TV sets? Did your family use a plastic screen to turn their black and white TV into a color one? I'm going to actually have to ask my parents that. They probably might have remembered that. MeTV put up about Phil Collins. He's got a picture of what he looks like now and what he used to look like. Phil Collins recreated some of his original album covers, and they look amazing. The English singer is reissuing his most famous album after 35 years as a solo artist. So Face Value, where he had his face on there 35 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long ago. Did I say? Yeah, 35 years ago. He reissued it with his face today. That's pretty unique, though. It's hard to believe again. Another upsetting story, by the way. Bubba the Love Sponge. Man accused of dog's rape murder claimed to kill his iguana. I think it's that story, by the way. It's a little bit more. It's a different story about that the pit bull. Suspect accused in rape killing of therapy dog in Thornton County released on bail. James, man, this is actually a different one. James Evan posted his $50,000 bail was released on Thursday from Thornton County Jail. His next court appeal is scheduled for 10 a.m. April 26th, and it says correction in a prior and something else, which I'm not going to open it up. I had a story from New York Daily News. I found this one on my own. Wisconsin teacher had sex with her student at a Motel 6. The Wisconsin teacher had sex with her student. Again, it just says the same thing again. Motel 6. The night of her husband's bachelor party, prosecutors said. So here you go. It says teacher. She was engaged. The husband was having a bachelor party. So his fiance was having sex with an underage kid the same night. Isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that crazy? By the way, there's this really hot, sexy video. I'm not even kidding. It was for, I think it's for a Snickers commercial, and they said it was from defund.com. They got pulled because the video is really raunchy. It's got a lot of sexual innuendos where these women are in bikinis and stuff in sexual positions. washing people's cars. Video, the commercial has been banned from TV for obvious reasons, but you can finally see it. So it is on my Facebook page. What would a bunch of football-loving American men like to see during a commercial break in the Super Bowl? And this commercial got banned. So there's something I put up. I didn't read it, didn't even open it up, so I can't really tell you anything about it, but it just looked pretty. Oh, it's really long, too. The whole thing's on here. Maxwell Chaney is actually where I borrowed it from. Staring in my own true life of horror movies. I guess she's got some type of lacerations on her face or something, some type of weird thing. A few weeks ago, I come to discover a couple of teeny, hardly noticeable spots on my mug turned out to be precancerous lesions. Dermatology tells me that I have to use prescription creams to kill any bad cells anywhere on my face. So this poor girl, she wrote up a whole thing. It was 16 hours ago. She's literally got like skin cancer all over her freaking face. It's pretty sad. So I'm sorry to mention that. Daily Mail, there was one I had posted up. Former Coast Guard filmed himself raping a tied-up toddler before urinating on her face. Man who filmed himself raping a toddler, I can't ever say that word right, girl, is sentenced to 200 years behind bars. You are truly evil, an evil individual, and when we need to make sure that you never are allowed in society again. They should do this. I hate to say this. They should do this not only for the males, but the females that are just as evil and as corrupted and sick fucks. Because generally, women do not get the same sentence as a man. Hey, by the way, there was one on MeTV. It was probably some old TV show. I've never even heard of it. But it's titled, My Dad Lives in a Downtown Hotel. Never even heard of it. Nobody did teen drama and educational films. It was a made-for-TV movie. Films better than the 70s and 80s after-school specials. Keep your eyes for Oscar nominees. 13 attention-grabbing titles from the 1970s and 80s after-school specials. Top image, ABC's After the Big Yellow Bus Dropped Us Off. We would head into the house, pour a big bowl of cereal, which I still do, and click on the television and what we would watch besides cartoons. So I didn't even know about this, so that was an after-school special. There's another story I posted on Bubble the Love Sponge. He really put up a lot. University administrator busted for watching, directing child porn live streams. PACE administrator. That was another thing, by the way, on teachers. They got busted on that, too, for what they were posting on, like, social media. They did an episode on that too, where the one woman who thinks she tries to look like a supermodel and dress really sexy, she actually posted it like on an equivalent to a Twitter page. She called the other women and she said, "Oh, I use that's slang for friends, female friends." She had posted the word twats. Or twangs, and she got suspended, and other teachers got suspended for supporting her on that one. Anyway, this story said PACE administrator busted for watching live child porn. An administrator at Pace University was arrested as he was caught at home watching a live stream of young boys being sexually abused. That was on the NewYorkDailyNews.com is where he got it from, Bubba the Love Sponge. So... Oh, and there was MeTV actually put Mrs. Cunningham, who was actually Marianne Ross, has been. They have an update on her. She actually does some commercials promoting Happy Days, since they do show those now on MeTV. Happy Days. Anyway, somebody Terry Beatley put up something and he said it was phony. Godzilla. Resurgence will not be released in North America cinemas. As it stands currently, it doesn't look like Tahu's Shin, whatever, the person who actually originally did Godzilla's resurgence for us in Westmore's. Anyway, there was, I guess, some type of thing, a teaser of another Godzilla movie, and the guy said it was actually phony. Now, here's one chick I really like, Gianova Rossi. She's like not super attractive, but she's got like a way about her. She's like a very loving person when you meet her in person. She does all these really bad campy horror movies. Anyway, she posted something, Gianova. It says, female masturbation can apparently open a portal to hell. So Gianova put that up. I love this woman. I met her in person. She is she's like a living doll. She's like so like full of like, she's a sweetheart. I want to meet her again. I keep on like missing her, like dodging her unintentionally. I'll eventually meet up to her and try to get a picture with her again. She goes to every freaking convention that is in existence and everything else. This sounds like a great plot for a horror film. I want to star in it. Let's make it happen, with a lot of exclamation points, says Genova. According to one Christian publisher, dildo enthusiasts are on a direct path to the demon kind of thing. How do you say that? Realm, but should take his views more seriously. I'm sorry, I really fucked that up. But some daysdigital.com, so if you want to read the whole thing. Amy TV had one of my favorite shows. They're talking about that, too. They posted this on my Facebook page. Tom and Jerry, this Saturday morning TV lineup in 1966. Anything could top it. And we're showing a picture of Tom and Jerry. Take a moment to revisit your childhood by looking at the cartoon broadcast on Saturday mornings in 1966. There are some real classics in here. I was actually born in 67, so that's the year before I was born. So I got some other cool stuff on my page. If you want to, big Prisoner fan, I'm not going to buy it because it kind of looks ridiculous. It is really cool in another way. But I did post a link to, if you want to buy a Prisoner t-shirt that says, I am not a number, with that unicycle, and it says, I am a free man. You know, that was that old 60s TV show with Patrick McGowan called The Prisoner. Very cool show. Oofa. Somebody put up about, they at least gave it to me, bikini show. I would love to go to that because I'm a sick fuck. The bikini show. Anyway, folks, you know what? I think I did enough, and it's getting really late. It's going to be 9 o'clock almost. I have to put this show together. So I do appreciate if you were listening to me, and if you enjoy what I say, even me picking on my poor friend Matt and my poor friend Todd, and you enjoy me doing that, and whoops, oh, I just lost my thing. I lost myself. Oofa. They're showing Wonder Woman right now, and I'll tell you, what is her name? She is super, super hot. Linda Carter. God. You know what I'll be... No, you don't want to know what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'll tell you right now. You don't want to know what I'm going to be doing tonight. So anyway, now I'm really... Because I'm holding my mic. I lost my mic stand. It, like, popped off. It's a little tripod type. Oh, my God. She's so fucking hot, though. Due to technical difficulties, people, Walter Interanti needs to end the show right now, and it's not because of Linda Carter and her sexy Wonder Woman outfit. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening to me. If you enjoy what I'm listening to, I'm going to speed this up really quick. Try to get other people listening in. If you enjoy what I'm talking about, that's for those who are listening, and those who can't do anything about it. So fuck them. Thanks again to Walter. Signing off for now. Have a good weekend. Blah, 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 blah. That's all, folks. Time for Walter the Master. Bait.